All right, guys. So we've been doing a lot of talking about endangered animals, reading about endangered animals, right? So we're going to continue with that. I see that you guys charted some stuff, and you guys charted rhinos, you have lions, and you also have turtles, okay? What I want from you guys today is I want you to really think about the questions that you have stirring in your brain that is really going to help you understand. Well, finish my sentence. What do we want to understand about these animals? What do we want to understand, Oscar?
The habitat loss.
Okay, habitat loss. Hold on to that. Hold on. What else do we want to understand?
Why the habitat loss might be happening.
Okay, so he's a little bit more where I'm trying to go, right? We want to know why these animals are in fact endangered. Could it be that it is only because of habitat loss? Every animal is endangered because of habitat loss?
No.
No. Okay, so habitat loss could actually be one factor, right? It could be other factors as well. So what I want you to do is I want you to come up with some questions asking, why are these animals endangered? What is the biggest problem for them in their habitat, in their environment, okay? I want you to use this vocabulary, which I've given you each copies of. Here's additional copies. So we have the vocabulary word, we have the part of speech that it is, and of course we have the definition. So endangered, seriously at risk of extinction. And then these are some animals, just some of the animals that are endangered. Extinct, what does that one mean? What does that mean? No more of the kind. No more of that plant, no more of that animal ever again. Okay? What else we've got? Habitat. It's the noun, it's the place, right? The natural home or environment of an animal, a plant or another organism. We know all this. All right, what's the next one? Environment. Okay? It's the surrounding or the condition in which a person or animal or plant lives. We use these words. I want you to make sure that you're including them in your dialogue and including them in your written work, okay? And lastly, we have species. I specifically gave you pictures of what's here. What is here for species? What are we looking at in this cluster?
Bear.
Bears, right? And over here? Not tigers. That's not a tiger. That's not a lion. What are they all? That's a cheetah. Big cats. Okay? And then dogs. So I want you to understand that within a species there are different breeds, okay? Like I have a dog. You may have a dog. But we have different types of breeds, okay? I might have a pit bull, you may have a chihuahua. They're both dogs, but they're different breeds, okay? They share the same family here. They're all the big cats, but a lion has a certain characteristic and different from a tiger, right? Tigers are more solitary, whereas lions live in groups. Anyone know what the name of a lion group is? Did you come across that? Not a pack, but it does start with a P. You didn't come across that? It's a pride. Pride, okay? So make sure you're using the proper terminology. All right, that's going to be our intentions, right? So our content intention, where am I? Our content intention is use research on endangered animals to create an informational presentation. That will be at the end. That will not be now. Okay? All part of that is generating questions. What am I going to put in my presentation? Right? I can't just put everything in there, and I can't just put one thing in there. So I have to come up with questions that I need to find answers to so that my presentation makes sense, tells a story, okay, and holds people's interest. And our language objective is to use domain and topic specific vocabulary when speaking or writing about various animals and habitats. So if you're talking about lions and you're talking about turtles, two totally different habitats, two totally different sets of vocabulary. Understand? Make sense? Okay. All right. So right now, are you guys confident with lions?
Yes.
Okay. What are you going to do? Are you going to do the rhino or are you going to do the turtle? So you're going to go to the rhino? Okay. So let's set this aside, Daniel. Okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about some questions. Okay? Now, in doing our research on grizzly bears, we read the article from Scholastic. We took a tour to Yosemite, Yellowstone rather, right? And we learned a lot about grizzlies. And now I have a secondary source, right? Because can I get all my information from just one place? No, what if it's not enough? What if it's not factual, right? I have to always have at least two sources. So I have a second book. And in browsing through this book and knowing what I know about our article that we read together, okay, I came up with some questions that I want to have answered so I could put it in my presentation. One question, and I want you guys to work together to come up with your own questions. Please don't just copy my questions, because my questions might not apply to your questions. My grizzly bears might have a completely different environment than lions, because I don't want to hear that we can find lions in the zoo, right? We're not talking about zoo environments at all. We're not talking about, oh, I saw the rhino at the Bronx Zoo. We're not doing that, right? We want to talk about them in their natural habitats, okay? So some questions that I had were, where in the United States can I find grizzly bears? How did grizzly bears come endangered? So how did they become endangered? Let me think back. What did they say? Now I know that it's a really big animal, right? So does it have a lot of predators, you think? You think that the grizzly bear had a lot of predators? Meaning animals going after them? No. Who's going to go after the grizzly bear? Who's the grizzly bear's biggest predator?
People.
Humans, right? They were shooting them, right? Okay, so they are the predator of smaller things, right? So I'm thinking here, like, I want to know how they became endangered. Was it because they were being overhunted? Was it because they were escaping the parks and getting hit by cars? That was happening a little bit, right? But it wasn't enough to get them endangered. Like, if one bear a year was getting hit by a car, was that enough to get them endangered? So this is why I'm working through this. I need to find the answer to that. You understand? And could it just be one answer? No? No. Why, Pierre?
Because in different books there are different there are different facts in how they got endangered.
Right. So there could be different facts in different books, but there could be different contributions, right? Different reasons for it. So even though that seems like an easy question, it's actually got a lot of layers to it. And I'm hoping that when you guys generate your questions, it has a lot of layers to them, okay? Another question I had, and you don't have to come up with as many questions as I have, okay? What do I say all this time? Quality over quantity, right? If you could give me two awesome questions, that's great. It's better to have two awesome questions that you could find real answers to than have 9 questions that really are not that important. Okay? All right? How can people help get grizzly bears off the endangered species list? Now that's a question, because like I'm not gonna go and like go to the parks and start saying you can't kill these bears or anything like that. But what can I do? What can I do to help get them off the endangered species list? What can I do, David?
You could try to help the environment.
How can I help the environment? Because humans can help. Even if you guys choose a species that is only in Africa or only in Australia, right? We might not be able to fly to Africa or fly to Australia to help, physically help these animals, right? Like, we're not going to go on the savannah and start telling all these other animals and people, hey, don't kill the lions. But can we write letters to our Congress people? Can we show them the proof that, hey, in the year 2000, we had this many lions in Africa, and now 18 years later, we have like this many? Okay, you could show them the proof, all right? So maybe I can't physically do anything like in front of that animal, but there are things that I can do as a human, okay? So this is something that maybe I would put like towards the ends of my presentation. In which other countries can I find grizzly bears? I might put that at the ends of my presentation, because right now I want to focus in on the natural habitat of the animal, because they are native to America, all right? They may not even be in other countries, but if they are, and they end up becoming endangered in that country, well, hey, maybe we can get in touch with the people over there, and we could say, listen, us in America, we people in America, we help these animals, okay? We know how to help you keep them from being endangered. So I wanted to just throw out some questions to you guys, all right? Please don't copy my questions. Hold on. Please don't copy my questions. I want you to really think about what you want to find out about these particular animals that you guys have chosen, and then really look for those answers in your research. We're going to start, obviously, with one article, okay? We have enough technology where you could be working on one iPad and you could be working on another, and you could also be working on something, so that we can hurry up and get our answers to our questions. But should we be hopping on the iPads right now? What do we need to do first? Not get information. Come up with some questions, okay? So, David, you had a question.
I think I know another good question that could be for for grizzly bears if you're doing one.
Okay, so let me hear your question on grizzly bears, because maybe it applies to lions too, because I want you to start thinking about your questions now.
What if they're only like endangered in one part of the United States, but not like endangered in like another part?
Okay, can you put that for yours? Maybe lions are only endangered in one part of Africa, and they're not endangered in both. So that's a question for you. That's actually a good question, okay? So I want you right now to brainstorm some things that you already know about your animal. And now I want to hear, before you start jotting down your questions on your chart paper, I want to hear your questions, okay? So I can help you develop them. And then you guys could hop on the technology, and you guys can start looking at the looking for the answers. Okay, it has to be reliable. You can't just jot down anything. Okay. So what are you guys thinking over here? Let's see what you've got. Talk to each other. Rhinos. Okay, you don't have a lot of information on rhinos yet, but let's see.
How do you spell question?
What are you thinking?
One thing is that when rhinos usually try to cut their board, so they could get more jewelry. They use it for jewels.
Where did you learn that?
Maybe that's maybe like
You learned it from YouTube. Okay, so how can we turn that into a
Right now, let's
question?
just write down the question.
What is causing? I think that's not really good because
So,
what do you want to ask? Part.
What is causing, let's jot it down on a post-it note first, okay? What is causing what? How do you want to word it?
Because in
How
Africa there's only
does
lions. Nowhere else. is
why
only
do
lions.
you see
You don't know.
rhinos with no horns in the wild?
Why do you see rhinos with no horns in the wild? Okay, so let me help you. We've already established that they take the horns off, right? Because whatever is in that horn is very valuable. Okay? It's called poaching. I want you to write that down. Write it down on a Post-it note. This is your vocabulary specific to your animal. Poaching. P-O-A-C-H-I-N-G. Poaching. Okay? So let's come up with a question. Okay? Building it off poaching. Okay? What could you? A person who poaches an animal is called a poacher. So let's first come up with something to say about the horns. Maybe, Daniel, you can ask, how valuable are the horns? Obviously, you know that they're taking the horns off. Okay, so who wants to write that for him? Because he can't write that. How valuable are rhinos' horns? Pierre, I'd like you to start thinking about, like, what about the poachers. Okay, a poacher is just a person. I'll pull it up for you. They literally just kill the animal.
Oh, why do you poach? Like poachers, some poachers like shoot animals for fun. Like for animals.
Yeah, sometimes they do it for fun.
Yeah.
So sport,
How
right?
is the
Called sport.
environment?
Okay, so come up with something about the poacher. Like, I would like to know if there's a consequence.
How did
6969
the environment?
Okay, here you go. So these are people poaching other animals.
the environment-
Okay.
Harm the
Are lions only endangered in one part of Africa? Okay. All right.
How did the environment harm the lions?
Yeah, even bears. Yeah, but mostly bears.
How did they harm the lions' habitat? How did the environment harm the lions' habitat?
Poachers.
You want you like
That's confusing. You said how did our environment harm the lions? They usually take the environment is the animals.
Tell me.
People are cutting down trees.
Okay, hold on. All right. So then, what? How could he word it?
People harm the lions.
I took your iPod. I'm sorry. Hold on. What do you know about what's going on with their habitat? What do you know what's going on?
I know people are like going to their habitat and like overhunting them.
Okay. And why are people going into their habitat to overhunt them?
Because they need the the lions they use the lion's skin to make like clothes and all of those. And
Okay.
they might need the fur.
All right. You've got two things going on. First, you're talking about them going in and taking the habitat away for building. So generate a question on that. What is that called? When my habitat was this big, okay, this is where I lived, and then all of a sudden it turned into that big. What is it called? What? Habitat loss. So now I want you to write something about habitat loss, okay? How is habitat loss affecting lion prides?
Why aren't poachers hunting?
Loss,
Affecting
lion prides.
hunting. You could just follow that. Oh, you need the iPod here.
Prides. Okay. So now, question mark? It's a question, right? Okay. So that was the one thing, because you guys are talking about how the habitat is getting smaller and smaller. It's habitat loss, right? But now David is talking about how they use it for the skin, they use the rug and this and that. So now I want you to come up with something talking about the way that it helps their economy, maybe, right? Like the guy is going out to kill the lion. All right. What is he doing with the fur? So I want you to together figure out why. Do they need it for food?
Yeah.
Do they need it for decoration? Like, is this a cultural thing? Okay.
People don't really go for the plants and all of that. They mostly go for like animals.
Okay, well, we don't know that, okay? Because that's a cultural thing, right?
We have information. Lions have lost 75% of their land in the past 50 years.
Okay,
As
so
humans' population expands, the lions are losing lands to humans.
absolutely, I love that. I love that. So some of this is already answering that, but I want a little bit more in depth. I have no idea where the lion lives. No clue, okay?
And due to the habitat loss, lions are being forced into close quarters with humans.
Yes.
So now, over here, how are lions becoming into close quarters with humans affecting humans? If I'm sitting in my village, do I have to worry now that a lion is going to come walking through as I'm cooking dinner or repairing my house? Okay, so you need to turn some of this into a valid question, and these are fabulous points, okay? But we need more now, okay? All right? Okay. Okay. I see you guys are looking at elephants. Hold on. So the elephants are kind of in the same situation as the rhinos. Daniel already told us the rhino horns are really important, and they're getting what's it called when they're killed illegally?
Getting close.
They're getting what?
Getting closer to.
When a person kills an animal illegally, just to take its body part, what's it called? Poaching. Okay.
How is the lion
So
getting
now I hear you guys saying that the elephants are going through the same thing. What are the elephants being poached for?
For their tusks.
Okay. So you have a general sense of how valuable these particular body parts are. Okay, so now figure it out. You guys have to come up with some questions. All right, are you going to stick with rhino or are you going to move to elephant? What are you doing?
Let me read it. How?
Okay, so let's see the questions. Why are poachers hunting rhinos? Guys, rhino, it has an H, okay? Let's keep it consistent.
No.
Okay?
Yeah, but we're talking about lions.
So definitely our vocabulary is vocabulary. We're going to use poaching.
Yeah, but are we
How
talking
valuable
about
are
the human?
rhinos'
She
horns?
said it. What are you
Good.
talking about? What's your
Okay,
head?
so now,
Maybe
what else?
She said,
Okay,
how is the lions getting closer to
Okay. Why?
Why?
I don't think there's only one left. Maybe so now you could write the answers right over here. So do a question and an answer.
You know how here?
A question and an answer, okay? All right. You may need to get some more information though. So while one of you is writing the question, maybe someone else can figure out where the habitat is, okay? Because I don't know where white rhinos are. And are you sticking with white rhinos? White rhinos, right? Because there's black rhinos too, so you're going to stick with white rhinos? Okay, so let me get some info, okay? Where do they live? Where can I find them? Okay, you
What
guys
they're
see.
saying is we need this, but they saying affecting humans, but we're not talking about humans. And they keep saying you said to write this.
Because you are though going to end up talking about humans because over here you just said that they're affected because lions are coming into close quarters with them. Guys, it's getting very noisy. Okay? It's getting very noisy and it's hard to see. Nina, raise it up. Okay? All right. Okay. So we already talked about this, right? We already said that they're coming into close quarters with humans. How does that affect the humans? All right, so let's jump on the technology. These are 3 really good questions. I'd like you to start finding the information too, okay? I have all these computers up and ready to go, so I don't know what just happened.
Okay, hold this. We could use Oscar. Could you look for like research here?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Nuha?
Oh, here you go, guys.
No, we're good. All right. You can use that.
Whoa. Okay. Are we gonna get blue?
All right. So I definitely don't want you all on the same site. I want you to take a look at different sites, okay? And just make sure that you're able to find information that answers your question. You have 3 really strong questions there.
Yeah, see, they're taking their tusks.
Okay, but we're not talking about tusks anymore, right? We're talking about horns. So you have a lot of information here that needs to be filled in. I would have a question. I'm curious to know when a horn is removed from a rhino,
I'm gonna write.
does the rhino
The
die?
first one.
Okay,
Okay, that's something that I would like to know.
one.
Wait, we did? Hands are facing.
Well, maybe it's
Does that answer one of the questions?
Yeah.
No, she wanted us to answer something.
So, all right, everyone freeze for a moment. Freeze. Okay. I recognize that with three of you all on three different pieces of technology, finding information on your animal, you can start just jotting down any old fact. I don't want you to do that though, right? I don't want just a bulleted list of facts. What are we doing? What's the main thing we're doing right now? Every hand should be up. What's the main thing we're doing? Right, well, we've already written them down, right? Now we're strictly just looking for the answers to those questions. Is this the last time we're gonna ask questions about our animal? No, this is ongoing, right? Because our end product is going to be some kind of informational PowerPoint, okay? But the whole point is, right now, I just want you to kind of focus on, see how I'm going, like focus on those questions that you generated, okay? I don't want 17,000 different bullet points of just facts, okay? Okay.
How is habitat loss affecting lion's pride?
Right here. So which question are you doing?
Our lion
Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to get in line with his question. So remember, because we're gonna look at two different sources. Okay, so he's trying to find out, which one are you doing, Oscar?
How is habitat loss affecting lion's pride?
So that's what I want you to do. You're working on habitat loss right now. Okay, make sure you don't click on the same article. Okay, is this good? Let me see. Well, you tell me if it's good.
Lions are becoming a threatened species. Trophies got hunters of loss. Not really, right?
Well, because you got two different things, right? So it's talking about loss of savanna, right? So that's the savanna is the what?
Is the
Habitat. You need to write down savanna. Someone jot down savanna. I'll give you a post-it note because that is definitely going to be your text-specific vocabulary. Okay? And trophy hunters. A trophy hunter is well, what's a trophy?
it's like it's something.
It's like a reward of some sort, right? You came in first, you got a trophy. So what could a trophy hunter be? I want you to think about that. Think about that. What do you think a trophy hunter is, Daniel?
A trophy hunter is a hunter that wants to get a reward.
No, it's like a.
Once
Hold on, let me finish.
sometimes there's this sign that says kill this animal and then you get that much money.
Okay, I don't know about that, but you're in the right direction. I kind of understand what you're saying. What's a trophy hunter?
It's a hunter who hunts down animals, takes their parts, and makes trophies.
No, he doesn't make trophies out of them. The animal itself is the trophy.
Oh.
Okay? So it's like bragging. You're bragging, right? I just killed a 13-foot giraffe. The giraffe is the trophy, right? That's the trophy. Years ago, we'll talk about it another time, there was Cecil the lion who was lured out of a national park. When we read about the grizzlies, what's a national park? Can you hunt there?
No.
No. So in Africa, it's private, all right? You can't hunt there. So in Africa, someone lured a lion out of a national park where he was supposed to be safe, and they killed it. Okay, that's trophy hunting. It's done just for sport. It's not done because you need to eat that animal to survive. Okay? It's not done because, you need to kill that animal because you need the skin to build your home. Trophy hunting is something that's done strictly for sport, kind of for bragging rights, okay? Do you think trophy hunting would be a topic-specific vocabulary for you guys too? Absolutely, okay? So trophy hunting, okay? Remember, when you guys are on these iPads and stuff, you're all working on the same question. It's not a race to answer all the questions, okay? You're working on the same question on completely different articles.
No, we have to do the same topic.
Same question.
Same question, but
Same-
different article.
Absolutely. Okay, so don't both of you get on National Geographic for Kids, okay? Same question. We're checking validity, right? We're checking sources.
I'm actually gonna go on Kid Rex to be like exciting. I'm trying to search something on Kid
Medicine. Medicine. Okay? Drugs. Right? Medicine is supposed to make you better. So that gives me an idea for another question. Okay? Let me see. How many questions do you have? I don't want too many questions. All right? But now I'm wondering, what does medicine have anything to do with a rhino's horn?
Friendly.
Okay? It definitely doesn't tie in how that, there you go. I bet, so look for that.
Go on Kid Rex.
Okay, the medicine
Then you're sex.
might be because it's so
Then
valuable.
you'll be kid safe. We don't want to say anything that's not kid. What's called?
David, I really just need you to find an article. All you have to do is type in some keywords. Habitat lost in the savannah. Come on, we're wasting a lot of time here. Did you guys confer to find your answer? Okay, what are you saying, Yuha?
Approaching human wildlife
Conflict, poisoning.
habitat and legal hunting. Considering unstable. Wait.
Go ahead. Click on it, open it, open it, okay? David, I don't know what's happening, okay, but we're wasting a lot of time. Okay, I didn't ask you to go to that particular search engine, okay? I just really needed you to do what I asked you to do 10 minutes ago, okay? So lion habitat loss. This is it, okay? That's why we're working as a team and not as individuals.
Just stand over there. Do the questions. How valuable is a rhino? How do these rhinos?
Did you find out how valuable a rhino's horn is? Yes or no? Okay, so like I said 7 times already, we need to be working on the same question. Get out of shopping, okay? I don't know why you're on shopping. Okay, so guys, I want to do a quick share, okay? But before I do a quick share, I want all of you to get a Post-it note, and please make sure you have a pencil. Okay, so obviously we always do I need you to sit down, please. You don't need to hand them out. You just need to take one and pass. Okay? Obviously, I need you to sit down, David. we always do success criteria right after we talked about what the task is. Notice I did not do the success criteria because I wanted you guys to play around a little bit. So when we're together the next time, we're going to continue this. So I need you guys to generate success criteria on what? On what? What is today's lesson?
To get information.
Not to get information.
To write questions and getting facts about it.
Okay. So I can, right? The whole idea here was to generate questions and then find answers to those questions, right? Is that what we were doing? Okay. So we're going to continue that, okay? And when we get our answers to our first 3 questions, maybe we'll have another 3 questions. Maybe we won't, okay? But the idea is we have to streamline our thinking and we have to really, truly think about what it is we want to know, all right? So how are we going to be successful in this? Okay, I just want to do, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, I can, because you're going to write this. How are we going to be successful in this? No, we're not writing the whole objective over. We're doing the success criteria. So I can what? We've already generated our question. I can, let me say that? All right, generate questions that align to my topic. In this case, your topic is what?
Lions.
And your topic is what? Which rhinos? Okay? So I can generate questions that align to my topic. All right? Now I've got my questions. I can what? How do I answer it? I can use reliable resources to find information or find, if I have a question, what am I looking for? To find answers. Okay. And lastly, how many sources do I at least want you to be checking? You were looking at one site. Did I tell you to go to the same site? No. So I can use at least 2 sources. Jot it down. This is what you're doing. Because when we meet again, you need to know that this is exactly what you're going to do, okay? All right? So I'm just going to go around. You can call out if you'd like. Give us a question. Listen, guys, listen to the question. You don't have to stop writing. You just have to listen actively.
Oh, okay.
So give us a question.
How is habitat loss affecting lions' pride?
How is habitat loss affecting lions' pride? I like that question, actually. Okay, have you found an answer?
Yes. Trophy hunters and the loss of savanna grassland.
Well, I don't know if that answers that.
I think we already have a question.
Okay, David, I was looking to Oscar. You're supposed to be listening.
Okay, lions have 75% of their land in the past 50 years.
Okay, so maybe that's it. They're losing their land, and as a result, what is happening to them? Okay? Do you guys have a question? Let's hear one of your really good questions. How valuable are rhinos' horns? I mean, we infer that they're totally valuable, right? Nuha? If they're taking the horn of the animal and leaving the rest of the body, obviously that tells me what? That, hey, these horns are used for something that's probably either going to save a life or going to bring me a lot of money, okay? So this is what we need to find out, all right? Did you get an answer? How valuable are they? Did you give me a money answer or what? Go ahead, money answer?
I found, why does a rhino's horn cost $300,000?
So one rhino's horn will bring me, the poacher, $300,000. Do you guys think that that's a lot of money?
Yes.
I think that that's a lot of money. So I understand now why a poacher is a poacher for the horn. Doesn't make it right, but okay, now I have a little bit of understanding. So now one of my questions would be, how can I, here in America, help these animals? Okay? So guys, I want you to copy this. I think you did really well today, okay?
Take your shirt off. So down.
All right. Any questions? Any questions? Anyone new how you're okay?
Yes.
David, you have a question? What's your question, hon?
No, I have to say one.
Oh, go ahead. Tell us another question.
Do lions, is the one
Listen, Daniel, I mean, listen to his question, because maybe even though you're in different animals, it could almost help you maybe come up with another question. Go ahead, what?
Are lions endangered in one part of Africa and are only endangered in one part of Africa and in our part are like not that endangered?
Okay, so that's something to think about too. Did you find an answer to that, or are you going to work on that?
I am still working.
Okay, so we're clear on our success criteria, yes? All right, right now you guys have already checked off generate questions, okay? But we've only come up with 3. Okay, we're gonna continue this. And then the end, I wanna see a beautiful PowerPoint, okay? All right, good job today. I see you've already packed up. What? What's your question?
Are we gonna write it in the computer or are we gonna type it up?
You're gonna type it up. You're gonna make a PowerPoint presentation. But you're not getting a PowerPoint presentation until these questions are answered. So this is not something that's going to be done like on Tuesday. Okay? All right?
And on Tuesday is a math state exam.
Tuesday's a math state exam. Good luck. You all will do well. Okay? All right. That's good.